I'm joined now by Senator Elizabeth Warren, a member of the Biden campaign's National Advisory Board. Good morning, Senator Warren.
Good morning.
You were harshly critical of the president's actions earlier this month on the border. This move, you have lauded him. So does that make you less concerned about asylum restrictions?
Look, we have a real problem, and we need security at the border. We need financial support for all of the places that are now housing migrants and supporting them. And we need a pathway to citizenship for people who are here, for spouses, for dreamers, for essential workers, for people who serve in our military, for people who come to school here and want to help make this a stronger country. We need all three pieces, and the only way we get those is through Congress and through negotiation. Right now, Joe Biden is using the tools available to him to try to do as much as he can. But keep in mind, there was a deal that had been hammered out. In my view, it only had part of what was necessary, but it was a bipartisan deal. And we were just 2 days short of voting on it when Donald Trump said no, and the Republicans walked away. And the reason Donald Trump said no was because he thought it would help him in the election if he could stir up
Senator,
more
let's talk about
chaos.
Let's talk about President Biden. I know he wanted that immigration bill to pass, that bipartisan, but there have been more than 6.9 million apprehensions at the southern border thus far in Biden's term. There were just over 2 million in Donald Trump's entire term. What did the president do wrong?
No, this isn't about what the president did wrong. Remember, on the very first day that he was sworn into office, President Biden asked Congress both for the resources and for comprehensive immigration reform. The Republicans blocked it, blocked it, blocked it, blocked it.
Donald Trump didn't have that either, Senator. He didn't have that either, and there were 2 million during his entire term.
Until last fall, the president tries to deal with the problem that is presented to him. He can't deal with it if Congress and the Republicans continue to block him. And so the president is using the tools available to him, both to create border security, but he doesn't have the resources because the Republicans are blocking access.
But he is president. Understood. I do think you've made your point. But poll after poll, as Matt Rivers just pointed out, say that this is a very weak poll number for President Biden. Trump surpasses him by 17 points in trust and working the border.
I understand that. And I understand that the president is doing what he can with the resources available to him. But you know as well as I do that he can't manufacture more judges. He can't manufacture more guards if Congress doesn't give him the resources to do that. You know, the president is out there doing everything he can, not just at the border, but overall for families. And the action he took in this last week is exactly Joe Biden being Joe Biden. Think for just a minute about what it means for 500,000 families that little kids go off to school in the morning and they don't have to worry about whether or not mom or dad is still going to be part of their family when they get home.
And what about the border that you were so concerned about a couple of weeks ago? The first question I ask you, are you less concerned now?
No, I am concerned about what's happening at the border, and I am concerned that the president, because of Donald Trump and the Republicans, does not have the resources that he needs in order to be able to provide as much help at the border. He's doing what he can with the resources he has available. You know, for me, this is about the contrast between the two. Donald Trump has said, block congressional action because he wants more chaos at the border. He wants as much division as possible in this country. He wants to turn us against immigrants who are here, who help support this country, who make it stronger. Donald Trump is doing everything he can to advance Donald Trump and to undercut the United States of America.
Okay, Senator,
Joe Biden is taking the resources available and trying to keep our nation knitted together and trying to give us border security and a pathway to citizenship.
I want to move to abortion. Tomorrow marks the 2-year anniversary of the Dobbs decision. Since that ruling, 21 states now ban or restrict abortions earlier in pregnancy than the standard set by Roe. Even if Joe Biden is reelected, is this really going to change?
Yes, it will change. We need three things. We need access to abortion, we need access to contraception, and we need access to IVF. The Republicans have blocked all three. They have laid out their plan to say they're not going to permit women to have those three and to have access to them. The Democrats are fully on board. If we have the trifecta, the House, the Senate, and the White House, then we are going to make Roe versus Wade law of the land again. And with Joe Biden in the presidency rather than Donald Trump, we will have as much protection for women as humanly possible. Understand this. I want to say this as clearly as I can. If Donald Trump is elected to the presidency, he and the extremist Republicans are coming after abortion, contraception, and IVF in every single state in this country. Not just
Senator,
the red states, not just the purple states, every state in this country. They've laid out their blueprint, and they're coming for everyone.
Senator, I want to end on this debate that is very important on Thursday. Just quickly, if you could, what are you expecting? You were on debate stage with President Biden before.
Mm-hmm. Joe Biden is going to be Joe Biden, and that means he's going to draw the contrast. He'll be out there for working families. He's going to say $35 insulin and 5 million people who've seen their student loan debts canceled. He's going to talk about getting rid of junk fees and how his administration is going after the price gougers at the oil pump and the grocery store. And that's the contrast with Donald Trump, who's been out there telling his words, rich as hell donors, that if they will just give more money to his campaign, then he's going to cut taxes for billionaires, for oil companies, and for the very price gougers that right now are picking Americans' pockets.
A yes or no question. Do you expect it to be?
Is key. It's about who you fight for. Joe Biden
yes or
fights
no?
for working families. He fights for women to have freedom,
Senator,
to make their own decisions. He fights for our democracy. Donald Trump fights for billionaires.
Senator, I feel like I'm moderating a debate.
And no one else.
Senator, thank you for that. But I just very, very quick question. Chaos or not chaos?
I've lost you. I can't hear you.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, and we'll leave it to our historians to talk about that again after the debate. Thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. We're right there at the end.